Hello, this is the One Episode Rule, a podcast about first impressions. I am Magpie, but spooky. I think
Ooh.
this one is literally going out on Halloween. Um,
Yeah, I think so.
uh, so
It's
yeah,
Thursday.
who are you?
Hi, I'm Joey, but evil. I'm evil this time, and this is the Evil Joey show. Not really. This is the one episode rule.
This is
I
this is the evil Joey arc with
this is my evil
Joey
arc.
Joey with the curse mark.
Yeah, yeah. I can't even control it. I can't hold it in. It's just all unleashed on this most haunted of days. So I have been consuming shows this week. One of which I will not mention because I plan on holding it over a dear friend's head
Oh,
Hmm.
should it come up. And another of
Well,
which I
he
will
doesn't listen. Don't worry about it.
yeah, it's fine. Another of which I will wait and let Louis on discuss because I
that's
know he has
me.
been consuming the same media. So that's me. Who else do we have here?
Hi, it's me, Emma, again. I usually try to be on for all the pre-Halloween episodes, but I exploded and died.
Whoa. So you're a
Um,
ghost.
I am a ghost, which is actually pretty cool for the Halloween episode, I think.
Yeah,
That
thematic.
that My Sticks message like 2 hours after we wrapped up was very funny.
Thanks. I was
Good
pretty
friend.
distressed.
Our good friend who died and
Listen,
exploded.
listen, at least it brought us a chuckle.
I'm glad. Working full time is a hell of a drug.
Yeah,
Um,
sure
Yeah.
is.
I have not been consuming any anime, but I've been looking at pictures of Gojo Satoru,
You know what? So true!
and that's
So true and good!
what
You-
more do I need?
are you actually reading it, or are you just looking at them? Because that
I'm
would
just
be
looking.
funnier.
Just looking.
I'm just looking at pictures.
Just looking.
I'm just Googling Gojo funny moments and then looking at the thumbnails only.
Mm,
Not even looking at the funny moments.
like
Just
that,
look.
Yeah.
like that time he gave Nanami a drawing of a little dick.
He did do that. It's pretty funny.
Thick butt. Who else
Hi,
is here?
it's my turn. It's me, Louis. I have been not as much as Joey, but in the throes of a certain series. And it's dang to dang good.
It is dang to dang good.
Mm.
So Dandadan is excellent. JoJo is completely caught up on the manga
I'm
and the
like
anime actually.
It's been
I'm
a week.
I know.
I have like
I've
maybe
been
80 chapters
feasting.
left.
We've been eating well, okay? That's all I'm saying.
I would be caught up, but I just started a full-time job, so
Yeah.
I was on the episode last week. Yeah, you guys know about that. I'm
Yeah.
sure I talked about that.
I
Mazel
think
tov.
so.
I I just paid off my Netflix so I could watch episode 2.
Yeah. There you go.
Woohoo! That's huge.
That's big news.
Do you guys want some news?
Yes.
I'd love
Yeah.
some.
Because there's a lot of it. Some of it's I don't know. You know Megan Thee Stallion says she's gonna have an anime.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's all I know about.
You know what?
I read the
I'm here
article
for
and it was
this.
mostly talking about how she's sort of for real otaku, and I'm just like, yeah, I believe you.
Yeah, so what's the show about?
What's the show? I didn't know
It's
that
gonna
Donald
happen.
Glover was going to work on one though,
Oh,
which is interesting.
that's fun.
Okay, on for the bad news.
Oh no.
The evil news. Yes.
Voice actor and ADR director David Wald has claimed on Twitter that the company opened his private mail, threw away the letters, and passed any included items out amongst its staff.
Oh
Yeah.
no! What
I
the
heard
hell?
about this.
If you
That's
sent me
fucking
anything care of
crazy.
Funimation or Crunchyroll in the last 5 years, I apologize. I did not get it.
That's awful.
That's really not
What?
good.
Oh,
Crunchyroll
good.
spokesperson said they're investigating the situation.
Oh, yeah. Okay, Crunchyroll
Um,
spokesperson.
that's vile. I feel like they should. I feel like the post office should send the special mail police to kill them.
Yeah, that's even too evil for evil JoJo.
Um,
Too evil for me.
okay, this one I was excited about.
All right.
Actually, maybe I'll save this one for last. Yeah, I will say this
Oh.
one for last.
Okay.
Okay, so we're gonna go to another one that I think I added just because the wording of it is very very funny, which is
Mhm.
late Saruman actor reprises his role in the Lord of the Rings War of the Rohirrim, which is very
How?
interesting considering he's been dead for like 10 years.
Yeah, how? Are they AIing him?
They're not AIing him.
Archival
Okay.
recordings, I hope.
They're using archival recordings
Thank
Oh.
God.
after referencing a letter that he had apparently written expressly giving people permission to do that sort of thing.
Oh, sweet.
Wow.
Okay, that's
Um,
cool.
But
You know what?
I just thought the announcement was pretty funny, and I was just like, wow, this is a lot more active than I would have expected.
Man.
He
The
really
AI
was
stuff
Dracula.
scares me though, because it's like I'm just like scared they'll be like, yeah, we read this letter, and it's like clearly written by ChatGPT, like
Right.
it's
God.
himself
Oh,
in it and
God.
shit. I don't know.
Oh, man.
It'd
Well.
be very funny to do that and then use the archival recordings.
Yeah.
But and finally, this one I'm excited about. The Vatican has unveiled the official mascot of the Holy Year 2025, Luce.
Yes.
This I am going to provide a picture of Luce for the
Now,
chat in general.
no, okay. I promise I'm not being a dick, but it's got to be Luce. There is no way.
I
There's
don't care.
no way that the Pope. There's no way the Catholic Church is launching a big-eyed little boy that they've named Luce to be their fucking mascot. The optics on that are really not good.
No.
Well, Emma,
No.
I regret to inform you that it does appear to be Italian for light, and the Latin for light is lux.
This is true, but
Yeah, I mean, Lucifer does come
they-
from the same root where, like,
right,
we
but
have
they
to.
do the cha. They
No,
do
I
the
believe
cha
you,
in Italian, right? Please.
Yeah, they did.
No.
Italian does cha.
Anyway, that's not important. This design is pretty great, and also led to the greatest tweet I have ever heard,
Okay.
which is Luce will also serve as the mascot of the Holy See's Pavilion at Expo 2025 in Osaka, Japan. The Holy See Pavilion will also display the 17th century painting The Entombment of Christ by Caravaggio.
Oh fuck!
Yeah.
So just put them like side by side.
Good God!
Little vinyl figure
gonna
of the
die.
Entombment of Christ by Caravaggio.
Oh. Yeah, one
Oh
of
my
my other
God.
friends pointed out she does look like the Wonder Egg Priority Girl. That is the character who I posted earlier.
Yeah,
Man.
she's got a little raincoat.
Yeah, she does. These are the same character. Except Luce has a cross.
So I kind of wanted to lighten the mood. I kind of wanted to lighten the mood because I did find another tape.
Uh-oh.
Shit!
All right.
Maybe not
Oh.
another tape. I think it might be the one.
Wait, the other one came back? I thought you got rid of that.
I think it might be the one I threw away. I can't really see it
See it.
so much, but
you
I can
okay?
just sort of see the outline of it.
How are we gonna play this? Does the VCR accept this kind?
I think I can. I think if I just angle my torso correctly, I can press the tape heads up against it.
Oh, all right. Well, I mean, let's give it a try. Do you
Anyway,
know what it's called?
I'm pretty sure this one is Uzumaki. Just a wild guess.
Oh, okay. All right.
Huh.
Well, let's
Let's spiral on in.
Yeah.
Oh my
that one.
goodness, I love Naruto.
Yay.
We are gathered here today to mourn the passing of perhaps the greatest adaptation of a manga I have ever seen. I am inconsolable and my year is ruined.
What do you mean?
Yeah.
I thought that looked so great, and I can't wait to watch several more episodes with the exact same style and production value.
Hey, it's almost like this show might have gone on a downhill spiral or something
It's
after
fun.
the first.
It's fun because people like to say things like, "How could this happen?" And the thing is that we know exactly how this happened, and we know exactly who to blame.
Money.
Warner Brothers.
How could this possibly have happened?
Let's
But
go fucking get him.
but before the anger, can we talk? Can we should talk about the what was achieved. So I'm going to post this blurb if anyone wants to pick it up.
In the town of Kurouzocho, Kirie Goshima lives a fairly normal life with her family. As she walks to the train station one day to meet her boyfriend, Shuichi Saito, she sees his father staring at a snail shell in an alley. Thinking nothing of it, she mentions the incident to Shuichi, who says that his father has been acting weird lately. Shuichi reveals his rising desire to leave the town with Kirie, saying that the town is infected with spirals. But his father's obsession with the shape soon proves deadly, beginning a chain of horrific and unexplainable events that causes the residents of Kurouzocho to spiral into madness.
Just like any summary, it can't fully capture what's going on.
Yeah.
I mean,
I've said before that I think Junji Ito has the best handle on cosmic horror
mhm.
of anybody since the fucking weirdo invented it.
Mhm.
He's just the best at it.
Yeah.
This is everything that happens in this is apocalyptic, unexplainable, and can't be resisted.
Yep. And
Yeah.
eerie. Just so eerie.
So I'm gonna nerd out a little bit. This one covers this episode at least is a good adaptation of the first part of the story because it very quickly covers like 3 or 4 of the first sort of vignettes because that's how Uzumaki is told. It's a bunch of just individual incidents that kind of loosely loop together until the
Mhm.
end. So it manages to cover Shuichi's dad and the and Azami's scar and the it starts
Began to set up the wet boy.
it started to set up the snail people,
Yeah.
which is one of the more horrifying things that happened.
Uh-huh.
I'm sorry, the snail people.
Oh yeah, the lad that was really slow to come to class
The
and
the, the, slow, the slow wet boy. Yeah,
Something bad happens to
something
him.
very bad happens to him, and then it proves to be contagious.
yes.
Sneeple.
Sneeple.
And then the funny thing is the creation of the snail people, like chapters and chapters later, causes another type of monster to be born.
Huh.
Because well, they're slow and easy to kill.
Yeah. We need a
And
natural predator to the snail, of
and
course.
food starts to get real scarce.
Oh
Ew.
god.
So after a while, you get people hunting them, and then there's the guy who comes up with the hey. Sometimes they hide in their shells, so you should just chase them in there, and he just starts to get long.
Oh,
I don't like that, actually.
Um,
that's really funny.
I don't like that about him.
so let's gush about this a little bit because as far as I know, what they did for this is that they filmed a lot of this with live actors
Oh.
after the storyboarding, and then they went back and rotoscoped them.
It does
Ah.
look rotoscoped. I was thinking that.
It's very fluid. It's a little unnerving.
Which
But
is
yeah,
really interesting because it looks both rotoscoped and also extremely like the manga.
yeah,
Yeah.
they rotoscoped them for their general body movements,
Yeah.
and I think a little bit of their facial animation, and then they
Mhm.
made each frame look very much like the title characters.
They really nailed that.
So things should talk about for people who are less familiar with Uzumaki.
Me.
Yeah. Well, now you're pretty familiar with the front half of it.
You've seen a lot of the
Huh.
really iconic shots, I would say.
A lot of people tend to forget the middle stories. The only one that I think is the one that I think is kind of sad that we're not going to get to see well is Kyrie's hair problems.
Oh.
But people don't think about like the scary nurses and the weird babies. But yeah, so initially, Shuichi and Kyrie. Shuichi kind of seems like an asshole initially, and then you realize he's just right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, he seemed like he was just fucking bugging.
He's just correct.
Yeah.
He's just right.
But he comes in on the train, and Kyrie goes to meet him. Kyrie is great. I always liked her. Also, she's the only blonde person in town, literally because Junji had seen the birds recently.
Wow.
That's pretty fun.
For the JJK enjoyers in the chat, Shuichi is voiced by Megumi.
Oh, shit.
Neat.
Yeah. And for the extremely intelligent Persona 5 enjoyers, he's voiced by Akechi Goro.
I see.
I did watch the dub.
Yes.
I don't know.
I did as well.
Oh,
I watched the
very
sub,
nice.
and I was
Yeah.
just like, those are some good Japanese people, I guess.
Oh yeah.
The dub was pretty good too.
Yeah.
I could actually tell that their Shuichi was pretty good. He managed to keep it under control, but he's got an air of tension about his voice the entire time. So yeah, he comes home on the train, and Kyrie goes to meet him, and he's just like, "Yo, we should run away." And she's just like, "Oh, like romantically?" He's just like, "No, like physically.
No, like some
Like,
shit is happening.
We should leave. I hate this place." Like, I hate the mountains. I hate that mysterious lighthouse. Which, by the way, I don't think the mysterious lighthouse ever does anything.
No, it's just a lighthouse.
It's just an ominous lighthouse.
He just fucking happens to hate
doesn't
that
like it.
thing.
Lighthouses are just scary sometimes.
I may have forgotten something that happens with it.
It's not involved in the spiral at all, but it doesn't fucking help.
Yeah.
And he's just like, my dad's recently become obsessed with spirals. He doesn't go to work. He just sits in his study with his collection of them. And then we get to see his dad. And the shit that happens to Shuichi's dad is terrifying.
It happens so fast too. Like
he's obsessed with him. He's got a pretty cool den.
Mhm.
Not gonna lie, pretty cool guy. But
yeah, shame
I'd
about
say
all the
he spirals
spirals.
out of control.
I like
Yeah.
average father activity, to be honest.
I like his kimono that he has up on the wall with all the spirals on it. I was just like, it's fun. But yeah, he's just like, he just sits in there staring at them, and when he does it, his eyes just rotate independently. and we see this, and it's bad.
You know, at this moment, I think it's really funny that Kyrie does try and rotate her eyes independently to see if she can. It was really funny.
It's very cute. And yeah, we see him do this, and what really gets me is how pumped he is about it.
Yeah.
He's so pumped about
He's
this.
so excited, and he wants
spirals.
to share the good news of the spirals with everyone. Also,
because when Kyrie goes home, hey, Shuichi's dad is here.
Yeah.
Talking to her dad in the in his little workshop because he's a potter.
Yeah,
And
he's got his pottery wheel going.
He's just like the art of the spiral. It's beautiful. Would you like to mention a piece from you with a black spiral painted on it? And Kyrie's dad is just like, yeah, okay. I mean, it's just a pottery wheel.
Having never consumed Uzumaki before, I was extremely, extremely worried that he was gonna just like hop right up on that wheel and be like, "Turn me, turn me."
No, he just infects Kyrie's dad with a form of mental illness later.
Yeah.
But yeah, she's just like, wow, I see what you mean.
She's like, that is a little
He's
intense.
being kind of a freak. And things progress. They try and interweave these pretty seamlessly. I forget where they introduce Azami. Azami is fucking terrifying.
Yeah, it's pretty soon after this.
It's
There
pretty
might be
soon
like a
after this.
classroom scene or something.
Because because there's a classroom scene where Kyrie is talking to Azami, and she's just like, yeah, my boyfriend, he does the opposite of your commute. He goes out of town to go to high school, and you come in. And she's just like, huh, that's strange. I've never met him. It's just like, well, I bet you've like run into him at the train station and you just didn't know. She's like, wow, well, you should introduce me sometime. And she does. Azami follows her to the train station to go see him. And she mentions she mentions because Kyrie like sees it. She's got a little crescent-shaped scar on her forehead that she hides with her bangs. And she's just like, oh, yeah, I was trying to impress a boy whenever I was little by pretending to be a tightrope walker, and I fell off and I hurt my head. But ever since then, every boy I've liked has liked me back. So I feel like it's a little good luck charm. And she's like, huh, this won't come up again ever.
No, surely this can't possibly mean anything.
But whenever she goes to meet Shuichi at the train station, he knows it's there. He's just like, we're late for something. We have to go.
He can smell it.
He can smell the spiral on her. She's like, there's a spiral on her. And she's like, what do you mean?
What are you talking about? He's like, that girl, I think he's in the dub, he physically said, that is
She's
a spiral.
a spiral.
She is a spiral.
Um, and at some point we find out that at some point we just end up at a funeral.
Yeah.
Because Shuichi's dad has died, and Hirie is there like supporting him, and they're all standing around. There's a bunch of people standing around, and they put him in they cremate him, and they're talking, and she's just like, "Do you know what actually happened to my dad?" She's like, "No, they said he fell down the stairs." And she's like, "That's just what we told everybody. It's a lie."
Yeah,
Just
because
like,
the truth is so much scarier.
we
Oh, we
were.
didn't talk about the scene where she tried to deliver pottery to him.
Oh yeah, she tried to deliver the pottery to him because her dad finished it, and he was just like, "Oh, thank you, but I don't need it anymore. You see, I found that we humans can just conjure spirals. Would you like to see?" And he just dumps out his tongue.
So long. This is, I feel like, one
I
of the well-known shots from the
Mhm.
manga. Him doing the tongue
And he
thing.
just curls it into a spiral as it gets longer and longer. And she shrieks. She just runs away.
She
And
drops the
while
pottery, I think, runs away. Yeah.
she drops it, breaks it, and while she's running away, a guy shows up and it's just like, "Hey, your special order from the Coopers is here." And he's just like, "Oh,
A
I'm so
very
excited."
large box.
Yeah, very big round package.
Emma had something, I believe.
Magpie, we've been friends for probably about 13 years.
Mhm.
And in that time, I have never heard you say anything worse than he dumps his tongue out. That was so fucking visceral. Like, you're right. Like, there's no other
what he
way to,
does.
like, fully describe what happens, but I wish that you hadn't said it, because I'm going to be thinking about it all night.
I am an artist. I exist to paint word pictures.
Oh, wow.
I know.
Yeah.
The
I wish I
purpose
had
of
some
art
paint
is
thinner.
to elicit a reaction.
Yeah.
So
I want to...
So yeah, so they're talking. It's just like we went out of town because Dad's been getting worse, and we were considering admitting him to a local mental facility. And when we got back late, we couldn't find him anywhere. Except when we went into his study, we noticed everything was gone except for a big barrel, a big flat barrel in the middle of the room. And it shows what happens because his mother goes to open it, and yeah, he's in there.
He went in there and he spiraled into it, and it did break every bone in his body. It pretty
right
much
up.
jellified him.
He broke every bone in his body, and he looks so happy.
He did not make it, is the thing.
No,
He did
he
make
actually didn't live.
He did
He
die
blew
about
himself
it.
right up to fuck.
But
As
don't worry.
as one does when one winds themselves into a circle.
Yes.
So while they're talking about this, people are just looking up in the sky, and they're just like, "What is that?" Because the smoke from the crematorium is spiraling up into the sky into a gigantic swirl.
Well, yes, a spiral covering the entire
Which
town, it seems.
which everyone can see, and that's they're freaking out about it.
They don't
And
like it.
and his mother just completely loses it because she's just like, I can see him up there, honey. That's enough. You have to stop, because if you look into the clouds, you can see the man's face.
I thought it was very kind of artfully done because like at first it just shows like this big spiral in the sky, and she's like, you can see it. He's up there, and for a second you're like,
You're
wow,
like,
she must
"Oh,
be really
yeah,
going
sure."
crazy.
But
And then
no,
it cuts up there, and it's like, nope, that's clearly him.
No, he's
it's
just there.
he's
That's
very
really,
there.
really
It's
him.
definitely his face, and he's doing the same expressions,
Uh,
Yeah,
twisted smile,
and
sort
then
he's
of.
literally dumping his tongue out again.
and then the smoke and then the smoke twists down into Dragonfly Pond.
Yep.
Something that is not foreshadowing, and nothing will come of it.
Yep.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
sure it's fine. Seems
Cool.
fine.
Meanwhile, things have gotten weirder with
Meanwhile.
Azami. Uh, Azami runs into Shuichi again, and she's like, I can't stop thinking about you. You're the only boy who's ever rejected me. And she's just like, yeah, about that. She's just like, tell me why. And as she steps forward, there's been whirlwinds this whole time,
Mhm.
spinning up and down the streets, and one blows by and blows her bangs up, and she's got a full. The scar has become a full spiral. Uh, and she's like, you saw my birthmark. Not birthmark. You saw my lucky scar, right? My crescent scar. And she's just like, oh, it started as a crescent? It's just like, listen, you got to get out of town. She's like, how could you say that to me? It's just like, no, like for you, like
You
Yeah.
have to go.
like you should
This
leave
place is
before it gets
bad for
worse.
you. She's taking it as sort of a rejection, which
It
is
breaks her
interesting.
heart.
Yeah.
And he just fucking books it.
Yeah.
Is this where we get scenes about Wet Boy?
Maybe? I
They
think
may have
this
been
is,
interspersed earlier.
Yeah.
it's
Uh,
somewhere in there.
It's a little past the halfway mark as we get our
Yeah.
first scene about Wet Boy, which is everybody in the classroom is looking up because Wet Boy has come in fully 10 minutes late, and is getting chewed out by the teacher, and he is soaking wet because it is pouring rain outside, and they're just like, don't you know he's a slowpoke? He'd lose a race with a slug.
Uh-huh.
English dub teacher is voiced by my old buddy Jonah. Hi, Jonah.
Oh, hi, Jonah.
Um, He's just like, okay, you can go ahead and sit. And he just turns, and I feel like the teacher should yell at him because it feels like a bit. But he's just like, okay, gonna sit down.
The teacher's like, why don't you ever use your umbrella? Why do you only ever come to class when it's raining? And it's like, much to
Um,
consider.
his face is awful.
Oh, that's so rude.
Well, it is.
You guys,
People don't
I
look
think
like him.
we have to put this on the table. Junji Ito doesn't like ugly people, and I'm not judging him for it. But every single Junji Ito thing is like, what if somebody was pretty ugly?
Oh.
I don't think that's necessarily true, but he does make very uncanny people.
I mean, I think
he's-
this person is supposed to, this person is definitely transforming. So
You
That's
can all,
true, but he looks within the
he
bounds
looks
of
within the bounds
reality.
of a person, right?
I don't know if you look. If we do some phrenology on this dude.
Stop it.
Oh,
No,
whoa,
stop.
hey,
Okay,
whoa, whoa,
easy
whoa,
there,
whoa,
easy
hey,
there.
whoa.
I'm just saying his mouth is 3 times the size of a normal human's. It's fully splitting the bottom of his head in half. He just doesn't open it that much, so that's why you can't.
Well,
It's real bad. He's got a pit bull head.
Well, I'm sure it'll be fine.
And anyway, I point to another example that Junji Ito isn't afraid of ugly people. Junji Ito is afraid of all people because Azami is beautiful.
Yeah,
That's
I
true.
mean, yeah.
That's a
and
fair
so
point.
and so was Tomie. But need to get around to buying that one.
Eventually.
But yeah. So while this has been going on, Azami's been getting worse, I guess.
Yeah,
She
Kyrie runs into her, I think, again.
no, not yet. Because
No, not
she's
yet.
walking alone at night, and she runs into. Wait. Does Kyrie run into
Yeah,
her before
Kyrie
this?
runs into, because Kyrie's like, "Hey, I've been worried about you. What have you been up to?"
Yeah.
Well, no, she's
like,
not wearing the
I
hat
can't
yet.
focus.
She's not
Oh.
wearing the hat yet, so it's not time for that. Um,
No, but like
she
she runs
hey,
into her again
she doesn't
because
she doesn't run into her yet.
yes, she does.
No, she doesn't.
Who
I
runs into her then?
one of the boys from school.
Oh yeah.
So
The guy that has
Sure.
like a crush on her, he's like waiting in the alley.
yeah, she's walking along, and there's a guy waiting in an alley for her, which is creepy on its own. And I think his name is like Kondo from 3A or something. And she's just like, what do you want? She's just like, please go out with me. She's like, again? I already said no. And he's just like, there's something about you that's pulling me in. Like,
Mhm.
please let me go out with you, like a spiral. And she's just like, Uh, then later, she runs into Kyrie again.
Okay.
Because Kyrie is walking home uh, at night now, like presumably walking home from hanging out with Shuichi,
Mhm.
because he's having it rough. Oh, we missed some scenes about Shuichi's mom because she got
Oh,
real
these were visceral.
Yeah.
fucked up and had a very human reaction to it, which is
Oh.
yeah, she's just permanently terrified of spirals now. Uh, to the point where she shaved her own head because she doesn't want to see the whirl of her hair in the mirror.
She,
And then she saw her fingerprints.
yeah,
Oh, the
Um,
scissors scene was bad.
that
It
was
was
one of the
really
worst
upsetting.
ones.
yeah, I'm not sure I'd pick scissors for that job. Oh my god.
I
Um,
Well,
just would have
she's
asked for
not.
some
How
fucking
did
gloves.
how
Goddamn.
did she get a hold of scissors in this hospital room? Is the question.
I
I
don't
mean,
know if
surgical
anybody.
scissors.
I don't know if anybody thought she was like a threat.
I
Um,
mean, were they just unattended? Like, I don't.
but uh, but yeah, she cut she cut the tips of her fingers off.
And her toes.
And her toes, which is bad. That's rough.
Not good.
Um, But Shuichi is just like, yeah, I got to wear a hat and gloves whenever I go in there. I had to warn all the doctors to do the same. At least we've seemed to have calmed her down now for a moment,
She
because
can sleep and eat.
she can sleep and eat. Because every time she sees the spiral, she says she sees Dad, and he calls out to her.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, boy.
um, so yeah, now we're gonna go back to Azami because walking back from that to go home, Kyrie buys somebody in a hat that she's just like, "Oh, is that Azami?" It's just like, "Where have you been? I've been so worried about you." And Azami turns to him, and is just like, "Hey, Kyrie, my right eye doesn't focus anymore. Can you look at it for me?" And she takes off the hat, and the the spiral has grown
This
because
is
this is the
the
image that
iconic image.
everybody's
Yeah.
seen. This is the one that's on the long sleeve T-shirt that I want.
Yes.
Because it's just her right eye spiraling down the hole and disappearing.
It's really bad to see.
Um, so she books it. She runs. She freaks out. And we cut away to two guys in the park because it's that guy from earlier, Kondo, and it's Shuichi. And he's just like, "All right, well, where's Kyrie?" And he's just like, "I'm sorry, Kyrie isn't going to be here." She's like, "What do you mean?" It's just like it was part of the deal that we made. And he turns around, and Azami's there with her hat, with her hat. And she's just like, I brought him here. Will you finally go on a date with me?" And she's just like, "Oh, no, goodbye."
No.
She's like, "You bitch, did you lie to me?" It's just like, "I just wanted to see Shuichi." And he goes and he snatches her hat off, which was the wrong move because it's expanded to cover the whole top of her head. Like
Yeah,
she doesn't
she
have
doesn't.
eyes anymore, and she's just laughing and laughing.
And
Uh,
seeing they have like some angles where you can see like the side of her face, and it's just her jaw, and it's really bad looking.
mhm.
It's
And
Yeah.
really bad.
he like reaches out to her because he's just like, "Oh God, Azami, what happened to you?" And he just gets sucked in
Uh-huh.
Really fucking fast too. Like,
Yes.
really fast. And part of him presumably ends up in her stomach because you can see that in her silhouette.
Yeah, and you guys, I think that this word gets thrown around a lot. You know, I think that a lot of people overuse this in situations where it doesn't really apply. But here, straight up, she does vor the guy. Like, this is actually what vor is. She swallows him and you see him in her belly. That's vor.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
interesting because I don't feel like he goes anywhere organic.
Well, her belly gets really big and round,
For
so
a
I don't
moment.
know. I don't
think
know what
it
to say.
counts. I think
Um,
it definitely counts.
It counts if only for the 10 seconds that she
I mean,
continues to exist in that way.
she digests them fast.
Yeah, and our next scene is Kyrie running around, and you hear Shuichi call out to her, and she's still like, "Huh? What?" He's just like up here, and he's in a tree, and she's just like, "What's going on?"
I forgot about that.
Yeah, he
Yeah,
climbed
he
the
did
He
tree.
climb
looks
a
so
tree.
stupid up there.
Because what are you
But,
gonna
like,
do?
He got scared. He got really scared. To be fair, like I would
mean,
too.
And she's just
I would
looking at him
too.
like, "Why are you up there?" And she's just like, "Azami ate a guy." And she's just like, "What?" And he points, and it's just her torso now, just sucking in the remains of her left arm. And you just sit there and watch as she just sort of inverts into nothing.
Yeah, she dissolves in on herself. It's no
Oh,
good.
the ankles breaking is really, really upsetting.
It's really unpleasant.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, somewhere in between these scenes, Wet Boy Part 2, we won't get to see parts 3 and 4. Because yeah, he's participating in dodgeball in class, the worst anybody's ever seen it, to the point where he pisses off his teammates. And whenever they're changing, he's doing it so slow that they take the opportunity to bully him.
This
They
is
just
like some 80s movie, like high school bullying. Like,
This is
Yeah,
even more.
pretty
To tell you the
rude.
truth, this is even more like. I feel like this is more realistic than most depictions of bullying because there's like root cause,
uh-huh.
action, and then
Yes. I mean,
escalation past the pale.
yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because yeah, they got genuinely pissed off at him for for being such a fucking slow asshole. Um, and he's got him up by the collar, and he's just like, Gamora can't really breathe. He's just like, what? What am I supposed to be your friend now? He's just, and one of the other guys is just like, you even get dressed too slow. You know what? We'll help you with that. So they strip his ass bare while the third guy's just like, come on, guys, don't do that.
This is really like really brutal. Like,
And they go to drag him out into the hall fully fucking nude, and still kind of wet.
still, yeah, always wet.
And they go
White
to,
boy.
and there's some girls out there, and they're just like, "Oh, geez, what are you doing to him?" And he's just like, "Ha
Gross.
ha! Isn't it funny? What the fuck is that?"
He's got a spiral on his back.
Because he's got a spiral of freckles all the way around his lower back,
Ew.
just pulsating.
I'm glad that you have pointed out that they're freckles though, because the way that it was rendered made it look like this is really niche, but if you've ever like put a cup over your mouth and like sucked the air out till it suctions and left it on
Yes.
for way too long,
Yes.
you get those like little red bubbles all in your skin.
Yeah.
That's what it looked like to me, and I was really grossed out. Freckles,
be
I don't know is much better, but still.
I couldn't definitively say that they're freckles, but that's just how they're rendered. They're
I
little.
can
It's
believe
just
freckles.
a spiral of little dots, a little galaxy of
not like-
blemishes on its back.
It doesn't necessarily seem three-dimensional at this point, right? Like,
But it's getting there.
it's it might be.
Oh.
And that's pretty much all of the stories. How does this one end? Does this one end on them dealing with Asami? Or just
I
experiencing
believe so.
Asami?
I think
think
the snail
it
thing
ends-
happens first, and then
I think it
Yeah.
ends with was it Kyrie? I think Kyrie just saying this is a series of events and it's only the start of our horrors.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
just like we couldn't have known that this was just the beginning.
yeah,
Yeah, something
it
like
ends
that.
with a narration where Kyrie is like, "Everything that just happened was really fucked up, but little did we know it was going to
It
get
was
more
so
fucked
much
up."
worse.
It was gonna get more fucked up. So yeah, that was the first and only episode of Uzumaki.
Wow, it's too bad they didn't make more of
Yeah.
this.
Yeah, I would have killed to watch at least 3 more episodes with the same exact style and production value.
Um, I greatly love Uzumaki the manga, and I think that this episode, as produced by Production IG, and I think maybe Drive was attached to it.
Hmm.
Let's see. The series was originally announced as being animated by Drive by producer Maki Terashima Furuta.
Mhm.
Some articles mentioned it was going to be produced by both Drive and Akatsuki. Series premiered. Drive's name is not included in the credits.
Huh.
Animation for the first episode is credited towards planning and production company Fugaku. Second and third episodes were credited as being produced by Akatsuki. However, Nagahama is only credited for the storyboards, and Yuji Moriyama is credited as director. And the fourth and final episode credits no one.
What?
Damn.
No one. Everyone is like, no, we don't want our names on this.
I don't want to be associated with this.
No, you don't got to put our names on this one. Actually,
I feel
it's really funny.
as I said, I am inconsolable in my days ruined.
I'm probably going to watch the rest of this. Not gonna lie, just
I'm
because
sure-
I'm curious.
I'm
to
sure
see
as
it.
fuck not going to pay for it if I do.
Oh, you don't
That's
gotta.
fair.
For an alternative, this was pointed out to me. This by default makes the year 2000 feature film Uzumaki by Akihiro Higuchi the definitive adaptation. And I am stating this. I'm pointing at the WrestleMania. We will do a bonus episode on that.
Okay, all right.
Sure.
I'm
As soon
here
as I
for
can
it.
Let's do it.
find it and schedule it.
Yeah, that might be some work, but hey, I'm here for it.
I also I have a bone to pick with Japanese creatives for giving themselves pseudonyms I simply cannot pronounce, because Higuchi goes under the alias Higuchinsky because
I
he was
believe
born
you nailed
in
it.
because he was born in Ukraine.
Oh, okay, that's
Yeah.
That's pretty funny.
You
That's
teams
pretty
speak.
good.
That's yeah. I think you got it.
So what do we think about this first episode in a vacuum?
The first episode really good. Like
Quite good.
there
Very
to
Lily,
look at
Lily, you're
positive
not a
and
horror
negative.
person.
No,
What
I'm
do you think
not,
of
but
it?
I also understand the like relevance of Uzumaki and like why it's a touchstone in like Japanese culture.
Did you
How
have a
At
did
good
least
time?
this make you feel?
how it make me feel.
Yeah.
Um,
creeped, perhaps.
I like I'm not compelled to watch more,
Okay.
Mm,
That's okay.
but I get it, I guess.
yeah.
I will say this had a lot of moments that like really deeply unsettled me. Like in
Yes.
ways
Yeah.
that like I was kind of surprised by. Like
Hmm.
I there were a lot of moments with Shuichi where just like we're just kind of like alone with him and he sees something and it was just like
Yeah.
but I think it had just as many moments where I was like well that was kind of like not bad but like just I wasn't really sure what it was that I was seeing. And I think as much as I have enjoyed a lot of stuff that I've consumed from Ito, I do feel like all of his work is like hearing one of your friends describe a nightmare to you.
Yeah.
Where it's like sometimes it's like, whoa, yeah, like that is really scary. And then sometimes it's like, okay, I guess
Well,
you had to be there. Like
the thing is he's a little goofy.
yeah,
He's kind of a
it's a little
goofy
goofy
guy.
sometimes.
And the way some of his characters act is a little goofy in a way that actually is off-putting for me. The way the dad
Yes.
acts is fucked up to me.
Yeah.
yeah.
It's so manic that it's frightening.
Mhm.
But I don't know. On the other hand, whenever he's not being goofy, he's producing shit that is hopeless. It's just
Yeah.
like, what are you to do? I've talked about like how Japanese ghosts are the most fucked up. If you exclude Southeast Asian cryptids because they are fucking terrifying. Um, because like, what are you gonna do about Sadako Yamamura? You're fucked. She's gonna
Yeah.
follow you and kill you. Um, whenever you read Ito's works, it's not that you personally are fucked, it's that everything's fucked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like there's nothing anybody can do about this situation.
Yeah.
And that's why I say that he's like the best at cosmic horror.
Hmm.
Because you're looking at like it's not a monster that's fucked up and going to get you. It's not like a ghost or even a circumstance. It's like all of reality is fucked up.
Right.
and
You're going to
get-
be compelled to slide yourself into this hole and you will not be able to stop yourself, right? Like
or a bunch of like weird metal legs will come out of the sea and kill everyone.
yeah, exactly.
They'll infect them with a gas that's sentient.
Gas.
Yeah, it's the Germa gas. That's what's
Yes.
in Gyo.
Gas.
Gas. The room will fill with gas.
Um, so yeah, I highly recommend to anybody to read Uzumaki, and then sit there and think about like, well, how the fuck were they supposed to adapt the last chapters of that anyway?
Sure. Yeah.
I, I do not know how they would have done it.
I feel like that's a thing. Like this has come up with Junji Ito's works before. I think in
Mhm.
like I feel like certain stories are gonna fit a certain medium better than
You could
you
do
know,
Gyo.
yeah.
Gyo is apocalyptic, but you could theoretically do it. There is
Sure.
going to be so much like they couldn't. The way they were rotoscoping people in this is not tenable because there gets to be a point where there are too many people
Yeah.
in too small a space
Right.
Yeah.
to rotoscope.
Yeah.
It felt like stylistically though, like kind of reproducing those charcoal smudges and the thick line art and stuff like that. It felt
Mhm.
like that was kind of like, to me, like the definitive, like that's how Junji Ito's stuff should always look if it's
Yeah,
adapted
yeah.
into an animated medium.
Yes.
Yeah, it was
And it
done really well. He
honestly,
doesn't like really use screen tones that
yeah,
much. He uses
Mhm.
a lot of ink work,
Yeah.
and they did really good.
They did.
yeah, and it kind of made me like not disappointed, I wouldn't say, but like, okay, Dungeon Meshi just got, obviously it's like huge and super popular, but
Mhm.
also Witch Hat Atelier got its anime announced and it got a trailer, and like
Mhm.
it looks really good, but I kept thinking like, man, I kind of wish this just looked like the manga but moving.
Yeah.
And like this did, and
They
it was
did
fucking
that.
awesome.
They
It
did
was
that.
it was hard to make, but it was rewarding.
Yeah, and
Mhm.
I can't. God, I just can't wait to see 3 more episodes of the exact same style and production value.
Yeah,
Uh,
it was so hard to make that David
they
Zaslav fucking killed it.
Yeah. They said, well, we got one at least. Womp
Like I
womp,
said,
good luck
how
with the
can this
rest.
happen? Not only do we know how this can happen, we know who's responsible.
And
Womp
the
womp
next step
womp
is to
womp.
find out where he lives.
So yeah, if you'd like to show us pictures of the spirals in your town, you can do that at oneepisodecast@gmail.com.
Don't
That
do
is
that.
one the word, not the number. Hey,
Ah,
you could send us tweets and whatever you call the ones on Blue Sky. We are
skis.
at one episode cast. Sorry, I almost forgot what we
Skies?
were
I
called.
think they just call them blue. I think they just call them
Sorry, Louis, did you say skeets?
Yeah.
skeets,
That's really
not
bad.
not skeets.
Oh,
Anyway, I think we're good for Halloween. I think
Yeah.
the tape problem has solved itself. I'm pretty sure I digested it.
did you
Um,
I
I
was
do
gonna
have
say, did
one
it come out
question.
of your
well, I mean, it'll come. I presume it'll come out at some point.
Oh God. Jesus Christ.
I do have one question.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
When does Naruto come in?
Wins Naruto.
Or
Shut it
Where's
down.
Kakashi?
happy Halloween.
Shut it all
everyone.
down. Happy Halloween,
Take
everybody.
care. Goodbye and good night.